Mr. Shashank Kumar is Senior Application Engineer with Quabs Info Systems Kanpur. And Quabs was established in the year 1982, and it is successfully managing to promote products all over India, but also able to interact intensively with the customers regarding their requirements and satisfy them with pre and post sale support. So he has joined Quabs in February 2017 as an application engineer. And up till now, he's HIL specialist certificate from Typhoon HIL Novi Sad, Serbia, expert in Python programming, technical support, presentation and demonstration and documentation and research, delivered lectures on HIL simulation in various online offline courses for IITs, NITs, Central State Experience universities. He has 6 successful years of teaching as an assistant professor, in which 1 year at MNIT Allahabad as a visiting faculty. And he used to teach subjects of electrical engineering and developed the machines laboratory, advanced simulation lab, and all over there. He is pursuing his PhD from NIT Patna on the area small signal analysis of distribution microgrid with EVS dynamic load. He has postgraduated in electrical machines and drives from IIT BHU in the year 2010, graduated in electrical engineering from Uttar Pradesh Technical University, Lucknow. He has his areas of expertise are simulation, real-time simulation and HIL simulation, electric vehicle, distributed generation and smart grid, C, Python programming and embedded systems. Actually, Quabs Info Systems, I request you, Shashank, to speak about Typhoon HIL. Typhoon HIL is the original company. They are leaders in the rapidly growing field of ultra-high fidelity controller hardware and loop simulation for power electronics, microgrids, and distribution networks. So he will be explaining to you HIL and microgrid facilities, distributed energy sources, and also how to simulate it by using Typhoon HIL. So Shashank, I think you will be able to start it and give them you can give them insight on the software and the hardware. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for giving a brief introduction about me, and it's a privilege to interact with you. Okay, so good afternoon, respected faculty members and people from industries and research scholars, PG scholars and UG scholars. This side, Shashank speaking. And as this workshop agenda is to discuss about the distributed generation and microgrid. So I hope you already had some few sessions regarding the fundamentals concept of microgrid and distributed generations and other things. But right now here in this session we are going to discuss about that whatever the fundamentals you are getting or whatever the work you are going to do, you need to have at least one tool where you can design and develop your things, and you can test that, and with simplicity, ease of simplicity, you can test that and develop, and you can validate that one also. And the tool should is having capability so that its accuracy is going to give you the advantage in terms of number of papers, in terms of your research done, and in terms of a lot of things. So when we talk about the research, so a lot of focus means a lot of things came into the mind, like how to start working, then up to what extent we need to test, means up to what extent we need to go so that we can say okay, our work is at least completed some level, some kind of levels. Okay, so all those things we are going to discuss in this session as but the thing is, since I'm working in the company who is dealing in the Typhoon real-time simulation product, but I will discuss about more towards the technology side, means what exactly it is, simulation technology, real-time simulation technology, then Hill technology, and then how you can perform those means those kind of technologies in your research, and also up to what extent you need to go, means either you need to stick up to simulation only, either or you need to stick up to real-time simulation or Hill simulation. Okay, So it depends on many factors. That the major thing is infra is also need to be there, because I don't know. It means in your college or in your lab, or, you will find all those kind of tools. So you need to keep one thing in your mind, that infra and other facilities should also incorporate when you are going to do any research, and when you are starting your work. Proper guidance is also needed, proper support is also needed, and a lot of small issues are associated. Sometimes those small issues causing your problem stuck. Okay, so for avoiding those situations, what you need to do, you just need to select the right tool before going to the computer modeling or computer simulation or real time or hill simulation, and like those things you need to perform. Okay, so let me start with the first, the grid. So as we all know, the grid is the place where interconnected systems are going to work. Means number of sources and number of loads are going to interact together with certain conditions, like frequency, voltage, and other things, other parameters need to be checked before connecting to the grid. So it was just means if we talk about these things, so it only these conditions are become older now. Nowadays a lot of things are associated, more associated with the grid, and a new concept, that is the microgrid, and then after that it's an advanced concept, smart grid, also came into the picture. So grid is itself a dynamic part, dynamic kind of circuit. Okay, and when we talk about the microgrid, so it is going to add more dynamics into the grid. Okay, and when we talk about the smart grid, so it will become more advanced part. Means you need to perform, means you just need to handle the dynamics, but you need to handle the data also, means the data transfer, and you need to put the smart devices. They are going to give you a lot of complexity going to introduce into that microgrid. Okay, so that will become smart grid, and as we all know, handling the grid and proper stability of grid is still most of the people are working on to that side. And when we talk about the microgrid, so different distributed energy resources like solar, then wind, then fuel cells, and then a lot of different storage, means different sources are going to be added into the to form a microgrid. Okay, and when this particular microgrid is going to interconnect with the grid, then a lot of instability issue we are going to find. And then next part is the islanded operation of microgrid, also itself a challenging part. We need to check all the things, means all the parameters we need to continuously monitor, so that it can operate on certain situations which is affordable by the grid. Okay, affordable by the system, you can say, because we are talking about the islanded situation. So why grid is so dynamic? Okay, the question is, why grid or microgrid is so much dynamic? So the answer it comes that by using the power electronic devices, we are adding instability into the system. Before power electronics, the grid was quite stable, but after invention of power electronic devices, power electronic converters, and nowadays we are using everywhere the power electronic devices. Okay, whatever it's the industrial loads, whatever it's the PV, whatever it's the wind, whatever it's the other energy resources, we are everywhere we are using converters. Okay, in drives also. Without us these converters, right now it's a little difficult to work, means handle the situation. Okay, now next part is the distributed generation. So distributed generation means the generation which are means using non-conventional energy resources like solar, wind, etc. But the thing is, they are not proper. Means if you say the solar system, means solar plant, so we are not getting all the same kind of irradiation and temperature conditions, which causing the generation. And what we need to do, we need to track the MPPT, and we need to get the maximum power from the sources. So for that purpose also we need to add some converters, so that converters and other things we need to add, and itself they are not means stable in situations. Okay, then distributed control, then smart fact devices, then microgrids, distributed storage. All these situations are, uh, part of the system which is becoming more dynamic. Okay. Now, energy storage is the most important part whenever talk about the microgrid or smart grid applications. So, energy storage is going to play a vital role in that field. For making our grid stable, it is playing a vital role. Okay. So, different kind of energy storage systems are there, and some of them sometimes it's become necessary to use those energy storage system in the for sake means for the stability of your microgrid. Okay. So I'm not going to discuss about in detail about those things because we are very limited about the time. So what we will do, I will display some one example and I'll go with that one, and I'll discuss only about that one particular one. And in future further, if you find interesting this session, then you can connect with me and we'll discuss in detail about those things. Or in future, if we'll find more time, then we'll discuss in depth about the microgrid fundamental concepts and other things. Okay. So first of all, let me introduce the team from Typhoon Hill. So this company founded in 2008 with the headquarters at Cambridge, and they are having two fully owned subsidiaries. One is at Switzerland and another one is at Serbia. And if we talk about the leadership, so in leadership there is Ray Stata, well-known person. He is the co-founder of Enlock Devices also, and Nicola Fischer-Selunic is the CEO of, and board member of this Typhoon Hill, and Dusan Mastrovic and Ivan Selenovic. So these are the four key peoples, and the rest we are having our own R&D team, and they are continuously working on to development of the products from Typhoon Hill, whatever it's the software, whatever it's the firmware, whatever it's the real-time simulators, or whatever it's about the technological collaboration with the different industries or with the different academia or different projects. Right now, around more than 20 projects are running in collaboration with different academic institutions and different industries, and more than 50 it is already completed. And time to time we are posting our our development and our collaboration with other third party means other academic institution industries on LinkedIn. So I hope you all are getting the news. Now comes to the major part that as I told in the beginning that before working into not only in the microgrid or distributed generation or power electronics or any field, we just need to first have some idea that okay, what is our basics. So theoretical concepts we can get from the books, and we can have some references from the research papers. Okay. Also we can take some help from our supervisors. They can suggest that okay, that particular area you need to work. Now the second question comes, once your target is decided and topic is decided, okay, you need to work into that particular area. So what you need to do, you need to select a tool first thing, and for selection of tool there are few points you need to consider, like up to what extent you need to go. So if we talk about 100 years back, so there was only option remain available that they need to start their work and they need to finish their work with the hardwares. They need to start their work with the hardwares and they need to finish their work with the hardwares. That is the only option remain available, because at that time there was no computers available remain available. There was no simulation kind of things. Means nobody knows about the simulation, that okay, some so that they can use. Okay. Nowadays we are having a lot of kind of different new simulation testing tools, like a simulation we are having real-time simulation, we are having hardware in loop simulation technology, we are having rapid control prototyping, we are having a lot of different options we are having. But 100 years back it's only one option. You just need to start your work with the hardwares and you need to finish with the hardwares. Okay. And if we talk about the 50 years back, so we find two options. First one with the we need to work with the hardware, we need to finish with the hardware, and second one we can start our work with the simulation and we can finish with the hardware. Okay. Or we can finish with the simulation only, or we can finish with the hardware. So these two were remain available. But the thing is, When we talk about the hardware, so what we are getting, if we talk about 100 years back, the availability of hardware, so those were remain simple as compared to today's hardware. Means say you are working on substation, okay, substation designing you are doing, so and you need to design a controller. So now substations are rated around 765 kVA or more than that, okay. And if you talk about the 100 years back, so they may be rated around maximum 11 kV, okay. So the situation is quite different. Complexity is become higher side, and means power ratings are going also increases quite tremendously, okay. So these things creating a differences in the hardwares, means if we compare the hardwares 100 years back and now, same thing with the simulation also is there. If you compare simulation with the hardware testing, so what you are getting here, the working is little bit tough. Means if somebody say okay, just go on the field and start doing your research, so it's a little difficult right now, okay. But in simulation, if somebody says okay, go to your PC and start your research, so you will find easier as compared to the starting started working in the field, okay. But here the thing is, what you are getting flexibility, means you can put anything, you can connect anything with the anything. One simple example I am taking, if in practice or in actual somebody says to you that okay, go connect transformer with the DC supply, so you just assume that how much easy it is, and what after few seconds or few minutes what kind of things you are going to get, okay. But in simulation that you can do, and nothing hard you are going to have, means either in terms of physical or in terms of financial, okay. So when you are doing same thing with the physical hardware, so you are going to get some kind of loss in terms of physical in, situation, or in terms of financial, both way you can get the losses, okay. But here in simulation you can avoid those things by using only PC, okay. So that flexibility you can get. You can go beyond the rating, you can go below the rating, because see, there is difference between the laboratory setup on which you are studying your course, and laboratory setup on which you wanted to do your research. In laboratory setup which is remain available in our institute for lab work, they all are having predefined data. Means the person already knows that okay, this setup is going to have this much source voltage, this much ripples are going to be, means up to this level the transients are going to be, and this kind of output we are going to have. But in research we don't know that okay, what kind of means we don't know all the parameters. Maybe 50% parameters we are having, maybe 60, maybe 70, but we don't know all the parameters. So for avoiding those situations, what we can do, we need to first start with the simulation, okay. So for that purpose we need to have flexibility. Flexibility means so that we can make corrections in our circuit. And in hardware, once you set everything, correction is quite difficult, okay. Means it's a costly as well as difficult also. And testing everything means you don't, if you don't know about your circuit, it means if you are not 100% sure about the circuit, so in that case what is going to happen, that sometimes maybe some parameters going beyond the rating of the hardwares, so you will get some kind of you can losses in terms of, means some part of your hardware is going to be burned, or some part of hardware is not going to work properly. So you need to make adjustment, and for that purpose you need to invest some capital so that you can make those kind of adjustment, okay. So in simulation you don't you can avoid those situations, and you can work up till your work is not going to finish. But the question is what we are getting, means what kind of output we are getting. So in with the actual hardwares we are getting actual results, whatever it is coming, it's coming actual results. But in simulation, since this is more ideal situation, okay, so in that case we are getting less accuracy as compared to this hardware accuracy, okay. So why we are getting this is less accuracy, because this system is more idle. as compared to this one. This is more practical, okay, and this is more idle system. So here what you are getting a lot of things in simulation means see, whenever we are designing any component in simulation means the component which you are having in the library, so for designing part also itself taking some kind of assumptions we need to take so that it can work properly, or and for having all the data means say you are dragging a battery, so for battery you just open the property and you will find few parameters you need to fill only, okay. But exactly if somebody wants to design their own battery, so is only those parameters are enough for designing that particular battery, new kind of battery? No. So in that case what we need to do, we need to design from zero, means we need to check all the properties, we need to take care of everything, and then we can design our own battery. So that is more practical battery as compared to the battery which you are going to have in your library, or you can say toolboxes, okay. So same difference you are going to find here. Second thing is the computation time, means here whatever the computation is going on, that is taking. Hello.
Please mute. Vinod Srivastava, please mute if you don't have any questions.
Okay. So I was discussing about the computation time. So hardware, so when you start working with the hardware, you start any switch, so the time taken by to complete its one cycle is going to be actual with the hardware.
Vinod sir, is there any query from your side?
Vinod
No, sir.
Srivastava, do you want to ask a question? Why are you unmuting it again and again?
Hello.
Yes, Mohan.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to ask one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Very good afternoon, sir.
So nowadays I heard regarding the HIM hardware engineering system, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, but to practically implement either as a PhD scholar or for PhD or any research work,
Mm-hmm.
practically and with the equipments, but how much cost is involved in the research scholars? Is it possible for research scholars to do? How it is useful to research scholars? How can you help?
Yes, let me. That's what I'm explaining right now. That up to what extent you need to go. First, you need to decide this one, and once you will decide, you need to check few parameters like it is available at your place or not, and if it is not available, then how you can assess that. So I will come to there also. Just wait. Let me finish, and then I'll come to that answer. I'll come to that point. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. You will tell at the end.
Pardon, sir.
Regarding my question, you are going to answer it at the end of this session.
You'll get within a session. Let me finish with the session. You'll get the answer. I can answer, but let me finish with this part. Then you'll get your answer. Okay. So, any more queries, or I will continue? Okay. So, I was discussing about the computation time. So here the computation time taken by the hardware setup for one cycle is going to be different with this one, because see, this device runs on the processor, and the processor having very much faster computation time as compared to this one. But the thing is, the processor need to handle a lot of tasks, okay. Means it has to handle your windows also, it has to handle a lot of different internal operations, and it has to handle a lot of things. So the simulation clock and the processor clock both are going to start at one place, but after say few cycles it is going to be different. you just assume like that three peoples are going to start their race. Say three peoples are standing for race together. One is through walking, another one is through bicycle, and then a third one is through motorcycle. Okay, so they all are starting from same line, and after 1 second you just imagine what difference you are going to see between all three them. There is a small difference after just 1 second. Okay, but if you are compare means after 1 minute, you just see that how much difference you are going to get in between all three racers. Okay, and after 1 hour, so this same thing is going to happen with the simulation, real time simulation, and actual simulation, actual system setup. Okay, so what we are the idea is the processing time, or you can say the computation time, which is need to be equal to this part. If this is going to happen, then only you can say okay, your results are going to be accurate as accurate as compared to this hardware. Okay, if it is not going to happen, so you cannot say that your results are going to be good enough accurate as hardwares. Okay, so what you can do, since this setup only is used for your research, but this setup is used not only for research but other purposes also, so its work is going to divide. That's why its a computation time is going to be also divided. That's why if you have experience that I hope I'm hoping that you all are having idea about the simulation. So whatever the software you are using, you are running your simulation for maybe 1 second, maybe 0.1 second, maybe 0.01 second, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 100 minutes. It depending upon the complexity of the circuit which you have designed in your particular simulation software. I am not taking any name, I am talking about the general simulation softwares which are available in the market. Okay, so why you are putting 0.01 second for one model and 1 minute for another model, and from where you are calculating this time? Okay, up to what up to this time your system should run. After that if you will run, so what kind of difficulties you are going to have if you are running for longer duration? Can anyone answer this question? My question is, let me simplify this question. I am just asking why you are not running your simulation longer, means why you are not running longer simulations.
It is more prone to error.
It is
More prone to error.
what kind of error? Have you tried to run your simulation for say 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
It will take a lot of time if you run for longer duration.
And
Because if the system is stable and accurate even for 4-5 cycles, then there is no question to run it for longer time. This will give the same result.
okay, and say something happens after 1 hour, or some kind of calculation mistake, means how much iterations you are doing. It depends, means if you are thinking that okay, 5 iterations or 10 iterations are good enough to give you the accuracy of your circuit system which you have designed, then what is the need of running simulation for longer duration?
Actually, we hardly run for say 1 second, that means 50 cycles, or 1.2 seconds. So if the system is stable and its results are up to the mark, then even if you run for longer time, it is not going to change. Which I have seen practically when I done simulation for my models. And this is my experience, and on the behalf of experience, I can say the system is stable for even for 2-3 cycles, and it is not going to change. So we hardly run for 1 second or 1.2 seconds because if you run for more than that time, it will consume a lot of
Yes,
time.
yes, 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 ma'am.
Lot of, I do not know. There is a lot of echo. We could not understand what Sunil Pandey was telling actually. Why is it so? I do not know.
Echo
Maybe
from my side.
Maybe you.
No, sir.
Sorry to intervene. Sasank, whenever someone is speaking, you have to mute your mic.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mute, I think. Now, Sunil Pandey, you speak.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, depending on my experience, I can say that if the system is stable for 4 or 5 cycles, then it will be stable for all. Because so we hardly run the simulation for 1 second or 1.2 second. That means for 50-60 cycles. Because if you run for longer time, then it will take a lot of time. If you are going to run for even 1 minute, maybe when you are running the simulation, it will take hours. So so I don't think that it is required to run for more than that.
And when you want to run your system for 0.01 second or 0.1 second, at that time, how much cycle you are going to run? Means how much cycle you are going?
If it's a 50 hertz supply, then obviously for 0.1 second means 0.1 divided by 0.02. That means 5 cycles in 0.1 second.
So why this simulation time is going to be different for different models?
Actually, sir, depending upon the controller, and it depends upon the controller and the the difference is not very large. But the model which I have, I'm not aware from this model which you are discussing. Basically, I'm working in the area of renewable energy. So in the renewable energy models, the difference comes because of the control technique which are used to extract the fundamental component or to find out the unit templates or other things. So, but the difference is not very large.
I'm giving one reason. You just say, is it correct or not? That's it.
No. Yeah, I cannot say for your model because I have not worked on this model. So
Sir,
you may
please.
know better than
Sir,
this.
I'm
But
giving
what you have
generalized
asked,
solution.
I replied for that only. Even if you run your model for more than 1 minute or 2 minutes, I don't know. Okay, in your model the result is differing. If result is differing, then it is not correct. Because that means
Sir, I'm not
at
saying
some
about
time
the
you are
model.
having some result, but for another time the result will be different, which is not correct. If the system is stable, then it should be stable for all.
I'm just going to give you one reason. You just say, is it correct or not? It's not about the model. It's not about the other things. I'm just giving you one example. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. So whenever you are starting your simulation, so your CPU clock timing, as I said, CPU clock timing and your simulation clock timing going to start from 0. Okay. But with every cycle, your CPU clock timing is going to be delayed as compared to the simulation clock timing. Okay. It means with every cycle you are going to have some percentage of unprocessed data. Okay. So with, say, just assume that you are going to have 2% of unprocessed data with every cycle. So that 2% data after 10 cycle becomes 20%, and after say 100 cycle it will become 200%. So that is going to, that unprocessed data is causing your system stuck. That's why your simulation, if you are trying to run your simulation for longer duration, so that is going to stuck. Means the unprocessed data is going to be quite huge in amount, and that amount of data is causing your system stuck. That's why means and when we are getting this 2% of data with every cycle which is not going to process, so how we can say that okay, it is the results are going to be as accurate as the hardwares? Because in case of hardware there is a 100% data is going to process, but in case of your systems simulation, the some percentage of data is going to be unprocessed because of that system is designed to perform a lot of different tasks. Okay. So what you need to do, the hardware which you are comparing, this is meant to run your for which this is designed. Say your fan is designed to give you air. So this the work of this fan is only to give you air. Say you are having any drives, so you have already predefined its work, that okay, your work is this only. You switch on and it is going to give you the output according to that one. Okay, like that. But in when you are using a generalized tool, say you are having a fan which is having light also, which is having AC, means properties of AC also, which is having properties of means plugs also, and other things also. So it will become horsepower, and you are not getting anything perfectly. Like either you can get air, or you can get light, or you can get AC cooling also. A lot of things, means you are making that whole thing generalized. Okay. So I'm discussing about those things, that you should need a specialized tool to perform your task. Okay. So simulation softwares are designed to process your circuit which you have designed. Means it's like a tool which is used to calculate process the system which you have designed, and ultimately everything which we are having, that is based on the equations we have designed. And for electrical system, we are having two kind of parts. First one is the electrical, which when we are simulating our system, so there is a one differential equation is going to be formed, and second one is going to be controller. So for that purpose, the mathematical simple mathematics is going to be formed, and that is going to be process. Okay. So electrical system for which a differential equation is going to form, for solution of that differential equation, we need to run our system in different time step, and for solution of that controller part, we need to run our system with different time step. Okay. So I'm talking about the discrete system. So in discrete system, the different time step is required. Means in electrical system, we are having two different kind of parts. First one is the fast dynamic part, and second one is the slow dynamic part. So fast dynamic parts having power electronic converters and other devices, switching devices. And in slow dynamics parts, we are having RMS voltage measurement, RMS current measurement, and engine generators. These kind of things we are having. Okay. So both the system needed different processing speed, and we are having controller also, that itself required a different processing speed. And with PC, what we are trying to do, we are running our whole setup with single time step. Means our processor is using running on single time step. So how we can say, that's why we are getting some kind of data loss when we are running only simulation. So what you need a specific tool which is having at least different multi-core multi-processor architecture, so that it can handle your electrical system. Means fast dynamic part, as well as slow dynamics part, as well as simple mathematics. All three part it can handle with their required time step. Okay. So that you can achieve the accuracy as compared to this hardware testing. Okay. So for that purpose, what you need, scientists and engineers, what they develop a system which is having multi-processor, multi-core, multi-processor architecture. There you are getting multiple processors. One is for your fast dynamic system, another one is for slow dynamic system, and another one is for controller. Okay, those are called DSPs for controller, and maybe it's a CPU or a FPGA for electrical system, depending upon the kind of simulator which you are having. There are two processor technologies. The first one is the FPGA plus CPU, and another one is the CPU plus FPGA. So what difference you are getting in both the technology is, when you are when we are talking about the FPGA plus CPU, so there is a FPGA is going to process your electrical part, and CPU is going to process your controller part. And what is the difference you are going, let me discuss about another one also, then we will compare. And another technology is CPU plus FPGA. So in CPU plus FPGA, the plant is going to process by CPU and controller is going to process by FPGA. So the difference is, both the FPGA and CPU is, FPGA supports parallel processing technique, okay, and the CPU supports serial processing technique. So when you are simulating simple circuit, so CPU is going to be faster. But when you are simulating complex circuit or a microgrid or a very complex network, in that case FPGA is going to be faster one. Sorry. Okay, so this is about the real time simulation. Now what is the hardware in loop simulation? Because when we talk about the real time simulation, if we say, so this is the processing time for each cycle is going to be same as compared to this hardware system. That's why this is called real time simulation. Okay, so processing time is going to be same. Here the processing time is 1 second. So here also you are going to have the processing time 1 second. Okay, but here you are not going to get that 1 second. You can get maybe less or maybe higher side. Okay, I hope you all have seen that if you are running your simulation for 1 second, so it is going to take more than 1 second time for complex network, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 1 minute, maybe more. Okay, but for here in real time simulation, it is going to take exactly the same timing which you have set or which is required. Okay, so there are two different definitions based on the people which you means based on the developers. The first one is the real time simulation is the simulation where you can compare the simulation timing with the clock timing. Okay, means if you are running your simulation for 1 second, so your by using simulator you can run your simulation in only 1 second as compared to the clock timing. Okay, now the second definition is real time simulation is the simulation where the actual process time taken by the hardware is going to be same in simulation also. Okay, so these two definitions are available for real time simulation. And but now why this hill simulation is required, I'll discuss about this one. See, here the things are still in software. That's why people are saying whatever you are running in simulation or real time simulation, the things are still in software. Okay, so they are saying it's not comparable with the hardware. So there must be some hardware, then only we can say okay, some kind of hardware is validating here. Okay, so after this one, the hardware in loop simulation comes into the picture. So as I told you, in electrical system there are two major parts. First one is the plant and second one is the controller. So depending upon the actual system, means if your plant is going to be actual and your controller is going to be digital, then in that case that is called rapid control prototyping. And if your controller is going to be actual and your plant is going to be digital, so in that case that is called controller hardware in the loop simulation. And if your some part of your plant is going to be actual and rest part of the plant is going to be in digital, then it is going to be called power hardware in the loop simulation. Okay, so here all the four kind of simulations are compared together. Here you can see in simulation everything is processed by single processor. Okay, so cost is less and the fidelity is quite less as compared to this actual setup. Okay, this is actual physical setup. Okay, that's why the cost is given maximum and fidelity is given actual, means both are actual, cost is actual and fidelity actual. So as compared to here, you need to invest only this percentage of amount and you will get this percentage of fidelity. Okay, now in real time simulation or software in the loop, you need to invest some more and you are going to achieve more accuracy. Okay, because see, this controller is going to process by a DSP card, and this DSP card means the inbuilt DSP processor which are going to remain available with the real time simulators. Okay, as I told you, multi-processor, multi-core architecture, and this plant is going to process by different processor, or you can say main processor. Okay, now in third case, controller hardware in the loop, this blue part is going to be actual as it's shown in picture. Here the controller is actual. Here also you can see, I hope let me, yeah, here. So these are the controller cards, 1 2 3. I have used 3 controller cards for microgrid application and I will demonstrate also. So these are the controller cards from Texas Instruments, that is a TI DSP F28335. These 3 cards are connected, and this is the microgrid interface board, and this is the Typhoon Hill 402 device. This device having 4 FPGA processing cores and one ARM processor, one CPU you can say, and one microblaze processor for flow dynamics, ARM for controller, and FPGA for electrical part or plant part. Okay, and these are the IOs. Using this one, these cards are interchanging the signals. Okay, these are the physical cards, actual cards. Okay, and using these pins, these are the digital inputs outputs, these are the digital analog inputs output. Using these pins, they are interchanging, means taking feedback from this Typhoon Hill device, or you can say the plant running into this one, that is the digital plant, and giving control signal using these digital inputs to the digital plant running into here. I will explain about this one. Let me finish with this fundamental part first. So in controller hardware in loop, you can see the fidelity is quite high as compared to these two technologies, as in fact very similar to the actual hardware fidelity. Okay, and cost is just double to this one, but as compared to this one 50%. Okay, and with this setup you can test unlimited number of systems. Okay, but with this setup you can test only one system. Okay, because this is the hardware. For different application you need to make a lot of changes, then only you can use this particular hardware into different applications. Okay, so in case of power hardware in the loop, here you can see that this blue part is going to be actual. You can say here device under test also, you can say. Okay, and the rest, these parts are going to be in simulation. Okay, these are processed by the processor available into real time simulation. Okay, so cost is double as compared to the controller hardware in the loop, because here you need to use power amplifier. Okay, and power amplifier itself costly devices. Okay, but fidelity is, you can see, compare the fidelity of both the setup around same. Okay, so this is the comparison between different methodologies available. Now it depends on you that up to what extent you need to test. See, generally we all are testing up to this one, and this nowadays people are more interested to test up to this part. Okay, because real-time simulators nowadays is more common. Okay, and if you are having at your institute, then it is good. If you are not having at your institute, you can test, still you can test your model with connecting with us without any cost. You just connect with us, we will give you the login ID and password, or you can connect with the NITTI Chandigarh, and their microgrid test band available. You can ask them to test, means ask, you need to take permission from there for testing your system remotely for in real time scenario, so that you can do. But for hardware in loop simulation, either you need to send your controller to the particular place where you want to test, or you need to carry your controller along with you, so that you can test into hardware, controller hardware in the loop simulation mode. Okay, so I hope you got you all got the idea about the different simulation techniques. Is it clear or not? Okay, so I was discussing about multiprocessor multi-core architecture. So here it is. This is these are the multiple processors: Typhoon, FPGA solver, then user CPU, then system CPU. So the color differences making you understand that okay, what part is it is going to process by these different processors. So controller here, signal processing part is going to process by this user CPU, that is ARM processor, and system CPU, that is the microblaze, that is processed. These are the slow dynamics part, so these are processed by this one, and the rest other part is going to process by this Typhoon FPGA. Okay, and this is the image for hardware in loop simulation. Here the plant is running into Typhoon Hill device, and the controller is actual DSP card, and both are connected together with your PC, and they are interacting together by using analog and digital IOs available right over here. Okay. Here one comparison is given by this CEO of Enerdrive company. So before having Typhoon Hill devices, they are having this setup for testing of 700 kVA voltage source inverter used for testing for transformer testing. Okay, so here this is the control cabinet, and the rest this all are controller plant part, like this is the converter, these are the filter parts. Okay, now once they find the Typhoon Hill setup, Typhoon Hill real-time simulator, they replace this whole part with the simulator, and they have tested the same controller which is remain available here, and they find this result with the Hill simulation and this result with the actual simulation. So you can compare the accuracy, okay, and with the same time zone. Okay, so this is, and you can Google it and you can find the details about this. Okay, so as I was discussing about the power hardware in loop, So for device under test of power hardware in blue loop, what you need to do, you need to put one power amplifier. Then only you can interact with the real time simulator, because whatever the real time simulator you are having, they are having plus minus 10 volt input output or plus minus 15 volt input output for analog, and digital 0 to 5 or 15 volt digital input output you are going to get. Okay. So for connecting with the physical devices, you need to use power amplifier so that you can amplify the input output, analog input output from here, and you can give to the actual devices. Okay. So this is the presentation part. Now let me come to the software part so that I can show you the real time simulation and other things. Okay. So that you can get some detail. I hope we are having time. Yes. Okay. Still we are having time. So till that, if you are having any doubts or any query, you just ask. Otherwise, I'll switch to the Typhoon Hill window, and you can software you can get in more detail. One more thing I like to say to all of I like to share with all of you that this Typhoon Hill software is open source with original license, so you can download. What you need to do, you just need to type Typhoon. Okay, so you just need to open this typhoon-hill.com, and here what you need to do, you just need to go to products and then go to software. So you just go to Virtual Hill, and here get your Virtual Hill license first. You just need to click this part. This is open source, you can download anytime. I'll share the link, or you can get the details. You just need to feed the details and submit. That's it. You don't need to pay anything. It's a premium. Okay. And next is go to download control center, and here you will find link to download your software. Okay. Here it is. So if you are using, if your system is having Windows operating system, you can download for Windows. If you are having system for Linux, then you can download for Linux. Then for installing, you just click this Typhoon Hill quick start guide, and you can get, you need to follow the step by step procedure for installing and using this particular software. And if you found any difficulty, you can connect with us also. And if you want to see any technical notes, so you can get in detail right over here, or it is available in the software also. So once you will install, you can get the details. Okay. So after installing the software, you will find this shortcut will become available on the desktop. What you need to do, either double click or right click and open. So once you will open, you will find home window like this one. Okay. So here one is the device manager, so that you can get the details that okay, you are connected with the Typhoon Hill device or not. Right now I am connected with the 402. Okay. So I need to close the SCADA, then only it can show. I will show you at the last. Okay. Then it is example. You can work with this software without Hill device also. It's not necessary that you need to remain connected with the Hill device. Okay, means you can run simulation completely free of cost. You don't need to pay a single penny. Okay. Then example folders, you will find a list of multiple examples remain available depending upon the application area, like aerospace, electric drives, automotive, then power electronics, general power means a microgrid, grid connected converter, wind application, solar application. A lot of different areas are there, like here aerospace, automotive, basic electrical communication. If you click inside, so you will find a list of examples remain available, like automotive, you will find electric vehicle. This is a fast charging based electric vehicle example with a DC fast charger and a grid connected system. Here you can see the vehicle to grid and grid to vehicle operation into this one. Next one is, this is the electric vehicle AC charging system. Okay, so here you will find this model is developed based on some IEC standard. If you click this one, so you will get detail about this one, and if you click this one, open model, or you can simply get the details. So I'm not going to in depth. You just if you want to see, download the software and go to the examples. Okay, so like that, here you will find a lot of things: grid connected converter, back to back, wind, battery storage converter for PQ. Then if you talk about the microgrid, so here you will find multiple examples like back-to-back converter, diesel genset, energy storage, feeder production, then meter and constant, PV inverters. If you talk about the microgrid example, so here you will find AC microgrid example with PV, wind, energy storage, diesel, and 3 different kinds of loads are connected over there. Okay. So you can find and their dynamic load and interruptible load are different loads are connected. So in PV you will find grid connected NPC PV inverter. Then you can see the single phase grid connected PV system is also there, and in PV plant you will find different. So depending upon the type of requirement, means your requirement, you can select average converter based PV example and switching converter based PV example or generic. So generic is more advanced, and that is not give you the in-depth fundamentals, but it can give you the in-depth testing scenarios, like you want to test with the LVRT system or HVRT or like those things, or you want to test with the Hertz voltage system or other things. So a lot of testing features are there. I will explain later if we find time, or you can download the software and you can go with that. Okay. In documentation hub, you can found 3 major sections: user guide, technical notes, API documentation. So technical notes, you will find a lot of things are there. Means each software having their own fundamentals for designing their own library of components. So that's why these technical notes are given, so that you can understand, okay, how to change the properties or how to change the functioning of that particular component according to your requirement. You can go through with this one, and also at the same time you can learn also that how much means what characteristic equations are taken by the developers, so that they can operate in this mode. Okay. And next is API. So API is another important tool, you can say interesting tool, that is gives you freedom to run your simulation until you are not going to stop. First thing means with Typhoon Hill you can run your simulation as like actual device, just switch on, and until you are not going to switch off, it is going to continuously run. Okay. And with API you can communicate with different softwares, you can prepare your own network, you can you can interact with your model while your simulation is running. Means you can make changes, and you can by using these API widgets. Okay. And then license, that's you can download as I have shown you. And there are 3 major sections: schematic editor, the place where you can model your circuit by using the library components in the Typhoon schematic editor. Then compile. After compilation, your model is going to load at HellSCADA. Here you can interact with your model while your simulation is running. You can change the parameters. You can take analog input output. You can take analog and digital outputs from here, and many other things you can do. Okay. And Typhoon Test IDE means once you will finish with this part, and if you want to test with some international standards or some international scenarios, so this Typhoon Test integrated development environment is there, so that you can test with this one. Okay. With this one, a few more tools are available. For more detail, you just follow our YouTube link or other things, or connect after that, so that we can check other details. This is the version. Now let's switch to the schematic editor. So once you will click here, okay, so you will find this kind of schematic editor will pop up. Okay. So this is the place where you can model your circuit, and here you will find the library. Okay. And you can add your choice of libraries also, or you can connect with the multiple softwares. Like I have connected with OpenDSS, that is the software used for power system load flow analysis and other more parameters you can perform with this one. Okay. And this is the JICE_lib. This software is used to design used to design your converters in detail. Means you can perform SPICE simulation by using this JICE_lib. Okay. So you can interact although few more softwares like MATLAB Simulink you can add with this one, or PSIM you can import direct models, PSIM models with this into Typhoon Hill. Like here the option is given, import PSIM schematic. All those things you can do. Okay. So here this is our core library. You can see if you want to see, you just need to go to depth. So you just need to download the software and you can explore here. It is one featured library is there, as the workshop topic is microgrid. So here you will find distributed energy resources components are available inbuilt. You can use them without designing in depth. Means you don't need to model each and everything. You just put the parameters, like here say this is the PV plant switching. Okay. So yes. So if you are having all these values, like in general the voltage, power and frequency and other details, then filter data, and then rest controller data. Okay, so then just feed the data and this plant is going to work according to you. And if you want to see inside this plant, just right click and go to look under mask. So here you can see this is completely designed plant available. Similarly, a lot of microgrid components are available, because if we talk about the microgrid, so most of the people say we are working we are using in our microgrid, that is there is a PV, there is a wind, there is a this means the names are going to be common, but the ratings are going to be changed, and sometimes the control technique are going to be changed. Okay, so you can add your own control. Okay, it doesn't matter, you cannot make changes, you can make changes into the system, into the mask. Okay, but what you need to do before making changes, you need to unlink the component. Okay, once you will unlink, you can use this component as per your design, means you can make changes into internal design of this component. Okay, so similarly here we are having for wind, we are having for energy storage, we are having for diesel genset, we are having for back-to-back converter. Okay, now one more special component is available, which is I don't think it is available with other, but you may have idea. So this is the PV plant generic component. Okay, so here you don't need to go in depth detail. It means if you want to test your with the advanced testing scenario, so here you just need to put these data, then PV. Okay, then grid codes, you just need to select that which functionality you want to use, like LVRT, volt var, hertz watt, volt watt. Okay, then LVRT requirement, you can select the company like Germany, Spain, US, Ireland, and custom also you can select. So if you are selecting custom, you just need to put the voltage point sorry, voltage point, time points, and then preview the LVRT. So like that you can get. Okay, okay, so this is then converter extra, you need to put these details, and then grid extra, you need to put these details. That's the only thing you need to do. Now if you want to see the library components in detail, or you want to check other details, you just need to download the software, and you need to just explore the software in detail. Now here one model I have opened so that I can show you the hardware in loop, controller hardware in the loop simulation. Okay, so in this model, this is a very you can say it's a basic model of microgrid, or you can say most people say this is the parallel operation of inverters also, you can say. So you can say this is a one plant. Let me zoom it. Yeah, so here you can see this is the battery. Okay, it's a lithium ion battery is used here with nominal voltage of 600, capacity is 10 ampere hour, and initial SOC is 100%. Okay, and this is DC link capacitor, then this is our inverter. One important thing is here that in this inverter the control is connected externally, as I have used these converters, these DSP cards. So I am controlling this controller, this inverter. Here the pin numbers you are seeing, this top switch is going to get, means if you double click and if you click let me open this internal structure so that you can. Okay, so this is here, so you can see this SA top is right over here. This is this switch is going to get its control from pin number 32. Okay, so digital input is here, and if you want to see here, you can, it's internally connected, so it's not visible right over here, but the DIOs are there, and this DSP card is controlling this GCC1. It's a grid connected converter 1, it is controlling converter 1. Okay, and the pin numbers are given here, and here we are performing if you want to calculate losses, so you just need to collect this one, and if you want to select any XML file, so you can do that one. Okay, that also you can do. Then timing, then advanced, those things. Okay, then next is second converter. Here we are measuring inverter voltage, then these are current, and then this contactor is connected so that we can either connect any system with the grid or rest of the network, or we can disconnect any system with the network or grid. Okay, so these are the filters. So here LC filter is used, and then this is our grid. So here two-way switch is connected so that we can make this grid strong or weak. Okay, and we can create some unbalance also. So that's why here the single phase sources are used so that we can create some unbalance also into the system, or we can make the situation. Okay, and here we are measuring the voltage and currents of the grid side. Okay, so this is the circuit. I hope you have got the idea about this circuit. And for second converter, the control pins are selected 18, 13, 17, 12, 16, 11. Okay, and for converter 3, it is the pin numbers. Yes, yes, yes.
Do you have any YouTube videos regarding the software?
Yes, yes. A lot of videos are there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just to learn the basics of the software.
Yes, 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 sure, sure. In fact, we are having our own YouTube channel, Typhoon, in the name of Typhoon Hill India. You can get from there also. Okay.
Just type in the chat box. Typhoon.
Typhoon Hill India.
Typhoon Hill India.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is the control pins are given here. Now let's compile this one. Okay. So for compilation, you just need to click here, and you can get the detail about the compilation in this console. First, let it validate. Once it will validate, you can change. Means you can move your cursor, because at the time of validation, yeah, now we can move up, and here you can get the compilation report. Okay. So as like this software is working on state, means performing calculation based on state space equations. Okay. So here this is, and this whole model is running on 2 microsecond time step. Okay. So this software, with this software you can go up to from starting from 200 nanosecond, you can go up to 20 microsecond time step, and discrete you can use 0.5 microsecond to 1 second time. Okay. For discrete system, means a controller part, or and you can use the multiple multi-rate simulation also you can run. Okay. And if we talk about the switching frequency, so you can go from 0, means from 50 to, you can use 500 kilohertz switching frequency you can use with this one. Okay. So this is the SCADA panel you can get, and here you are getting the this VGate library. VGate means these are there are 5 sections: action, monitoring, data logging, connection, visual, and library utilities. So all means these VGates which you are getting, these are analog meters. Okay. So this is gauge. So here, if you double click, you will find, you just need to select the signal. This software is designed so that after compilation, this part of software is going to automatically give you the list of signals which is going to be monitored right over here. Okay. And if you want to use direct signals measurement monitoring, then you just select directly from here. If you want to do some manipulation, just assume that you want to see the per unit values, and you didn't written any code over there to convert your values into per unit. Okay, so here you can do that one. Just click expression, and here you will find option to write your script, but not all the script. How you can write that script? Just click edit in code editor, and you will find this API section. Okay, so just assume that you want to see any signal, and say you want to see this IGB grid. Okay, so just go to this grid. You will find display value here. You just need to remove this 0.0. So what you need to do? Insert. So this code is going to be inserted. Okay. Now if you want to see this current, right now this is current, and you want to see into this is in amps, and you want to see in kiloamps. So what you need to do? Just divide by 1000. Okay. Or you want to see into milliamps, or like that, anything you want to do, you want to multiply something. Okay, so that you can do. So like this, only thing you need to do. So this is called API. Similarly, for anything you can put the commands. Okay, like say if you want to change make changes into sources. Okay, like this is given here, p reference. So see here, this value v is greater than or equal to, this is given, then string, the message you can simply get from the inbuilt API. Okay, you just need to make changes, few changes right over here. and all these codes are written into the Python language. Python is open source, okay, and this API is also based on Python. So let me run the simulation first, then I will let you know about the other details. Okay, so once it is loaded, you just need to click this one and you just need to load these settings. Okay, so these are inbuilt examples, that's why these settings are available. But when you are designing your own examples, so you just need to put the data, means generally these data are put from the schematic side, but you can put here also, and you can make changes also while your simulation is running. Okay, I'll show you how you can do these contactor situations. You can put close or open according to your requirement, then other things also. Now let me run this one. Just let me correct these things. Okay, okay, so now here we are getting this one. Okay, let me first show you this one, then I'll make you system embedded mode. I think this is better. Okay. Let me, okay, so here I hope my screen is visible to you. Let me insert, right now inverter is all okay. Let me insert some IGBT faults. Okay, so first I have inserted IGBT fault. So see here the differences what you are getting, the pulse is not coming fine. Okay, means inverter is not working properly. Let me click all okay. Next is next inverter current sensor fault. Okay, so I have switched into this one. See, you will find you got some differences. Then let's have some harmonics into the system. So I hope you are able to see this harmonic part also. Okay, now let me make this normal, so it is become normal. And now if you want to see that how these are configured, so just double click, and here let me show you. Just go to here, and this hill.set.pe switching block control model. Okay, so if you go to here, then switching blocks, so here you will find, let's just assume that you want to make changes right over here, means you want to put any fault here. So what you need to do, just check, put it manual and press 1 or 0, it depends on you. Okay, and then click to here and then insert. So you will find like this. Okay, so see here the situation, 1 is true with value 1. Okay, and if you want to insert the fault situation, means zeros in, if you want to make your switch low, so you just insert, and if you slide it here, so see here value 0 is true. Okay, so like that you can also configure. You don't need to learn the programming for working with this one or for making changes here. You just need to keep take care of these values only, that where you need to have 1, where you need to have 0. You don't need to write codes, you just need to know that okay, when your switch is going to high, so we all know if our switch is going to high, so we need to put this one 1, and if our switch is going to low, so it should be 0. Okay, so like those things. We just need to know about the electrical property, we don't need to know about the software properties, means programming. Okay, we don't need to learn those things. In fact, the signals which are coming, means that also you can make changes. Okay, so no, and here you are able to see the lights are blinking because all these DSP cards are working. Okay, so that's why, and this light is going to be high and low, high and low, high and low. Okay, so now next is let's perform frequency sweep analysis. So I switched on. You just need to see this stretching, okay, and let it finish first, okay. And if you want to test the with LVRT, so see, this is now with the LVRT setup. Okay. Fine. So we got this again. Similarly, you can perform all other things also. Now the important thing is that whatever we did right now, we need to capture also, because this is going to run continuously until you are not going to stop. So either you can place the data logger so that you can get the data related to that one, or you can do one thing, just click capture, get settings, and then say here the trigger settings means the signals which we have selected at the scope we can get here also, and you can capture your signals from 100 samples per second to 500,000, means depending upon the complexity of model you can go up to 5 million samples per second, okay. So since this model is little complex, that's why it is showing up to 500,000 samples per second, okay. And according to the sample rate, here you will find the capture window, means a time interval. So I just like to capture for 5 seconds, say, okay. So so that I can put some situations, so where I can show you that, okay, this is, we made these changes and we find this one, okay. So let me force trigger, and I like to start with the IGBT fault, okay. So just the force and then insert this fault. I have inserted this fault, and let's see what kind of waveform we are getting. It's right now transferring the data. So see here the difference which we got. Let me switch to window mode. So here if you enlarge this image, so you can zoom it here, okay. So this we got after the IGBT fault insertion, okay. And if you zoom it, you can find right over here, and if you get back to here, you can find these details. Yes. So once we inserted the IGBT fault, the VAB inverter first voltage which we are monitoring, that rises from 640 to around 810, okay. Here also we can see these are the grid currents, and if we see monitor other parameters also, so we can get the details here. In this battery, these spikes came once we inserted the IGBT fault, okay. See, it's inserted at around 1.3 second. If we zoom it little bit more, so we can see it's inserted around 1.288, and it started around 1.288. These transients we got, okay. So like that you can also get these things, and say you want to perform TSD analysis, or you want to perform some other things also, like signal analysis you want to do, that also you can do, okay. So this is like say you want to let it perform, then I will discuss about more. Till that it is working. If anyone having any doubt or any query, they can ask. So here we have got these FFT waveforms. If you want to zoom it, so you can see, okay. And if you want to change the switching frequency, say you want to test with the 200 kilohertz, so you just press enter and you can get. Okay, so here it is displaying for 200 kilohertz. Okay, you can save this one into image or you can save into data format, it depends on you. Okay. So I have finished with this part, and if you are having any queries or any doubt, you can ask. Okay.
Yes, any of you have any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, ask.
Sir, I have a query here. I am basically working on a hardware setup. Like I want to design a microgrid that have a compatibility with the energy storage devices. Is that feasible, the hardware setup with the software? And from where I can get the hardware setup?
See, the connectivity with the hardware you can perform with this one. Means it depends on you that what you are looking for. Means if you want to test your control logic with the physical setup, just assume that you are having actual converters. Okay, microgrid converters or PV converters, means actual converters you are having, and you want to put your control logic test. You want to test with control logic with the physical devices. You can do. Okay, but if you want to test your actual converter with this one by interconnecting, means there are two kind of means testing is there, as I told you in very beginning, that first one is the controller hardware in the loop, so that works on the signal level, and the power hardware in the loop that works on the power level. And apart from these two technology, one more technology is there that is also works on the signal level, that is rapid control prototyping. So in this case, your physical setup is going to be controlled by the digital controller. Means this device is going to control your physical devices which are going to available outside. You can take the feedback from physical devices, and you can give that feedback to this sense feedback to this one, this real-time simulator. Okay, sir.
Basically, lot of hardware setup are available, and with this software, that company also provide the hardware.
Means
the hardware setup which is available in the market and easily compatible with the LabVIEW and with the MATLAB. And for example, you are talking about the PV inverter setup, where we are talking about the microgrid simulator. A lot of hardware are available in the market by the different companies, and I'm basically working on the setup. How I want to create a hardware setup for my project, and I just got to know about this software from you. I never listened to that software earlier, so I'm looking for. Is there any way that I can set up my hardware with this software? Is that company providing a hardware also?
Yes, very much you can use with this one. In fact, hardwares you can use in physical devices, you can use that also. In fact, at few institutions we have given this Typhoon Hill product with the physical devices also. Means a multi-level converters for wind setup, and with the microgrid setup we have given signal conditioning device, as well as physical PV plants, wind plants, and other microgrid setups, like different loads we have given. And wind is also there, PV is also there, energy storage is also there. So we have given these kind of setups to the different institutions also. So if you looking to work onto that part, so you just need to write a separate mail to us, and we'll work with you to means
Please share your mail ID.
okay, I'll share my email ID, skumar@corps.com or hill.support@corps.com. On the both IDs you can share. I hope you got the ID in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any more queries, please?
Yeah, I request actually, Mr. Shashank, can you also? Yeah, it's a request to Lini ma'am. Actually, it's a kind of introductory session we have about this HIL simulation. But can we have a practical training session for this simulation software at NITRR?
as Shashank knows it, we conduct full week training programs on Typhoon HIL. So you be in contact with us. You are a student only, so you will understand that we will have courses. This year's is over now. So next year again we conduct courses on Typhoon HIL, full week courses only on Typhoon HIL. So Mr. Shashank and all will take classes. So you will be given lectures. So no problem. And now
Ma'am, will it be offline?
when it will be organized, so that I cannot tell you now, because we plan it for next year only. So this year's is already planned last year. Okay, so that is conducting now. So next year's we'll plan in January. So then I will be able to tell you when we will do it. Okay. So for you, maybe modular students, you will be called during December if the system is okay with no COVID and all. Then you can practice here also, no problem. Okay, when you come here, contact mode, we will be giving you practice on all this. Okay. Anybody
Okay, ma'am.
else?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Till that, what you can do, you can use our online portal for learning,
Yes.
that is
Okay, that's
hill.academy. Hill.academy, you can go through with that one, and you just start your learning, and wherever you find difficulty, you can connect with us and we'll help you out for learning. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Shashank, I think any questions more from any of you? Safdar Qureshi, you have a question? We cannot hear you. Be a little bit more louder. Shashank, can you mute for some time? Let us see. Qureshi, you have a question?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Okay then.
Okay, ma'am.
Please
Then
share the link of it.
okay, ma'am. Then I think if any participant having any doubt or any queries, please note down the email ID provided in the chat box, and you can connect with us anytime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Through the software only we can write the controller code into this DSP board.
See, yes, you can use the controller code generated from here to dump onto any DSP board.
No. Just in front of box, I can see there are some cards now. I think it is the yes, the same cards I'm talking about.
See, this board is connected through using this USB, and using this USB you can configure these cards also. In fact, you don't need to dump your codes. You can perform online flashing also, and you can use this interfacing board we are providing from our end, and you can use this one also. You can use LAN also, you can use JTAG also, and SPI tag also you can use. Multiple options are given, and here you can connect BNC cables. Okay, for getting outputs and log outputs, like those things. And this is our real-time simulation 4-core simulator. Any more doubts, sir?
Actually, still it is not clear. Suppose I want to design a converter, and converter I want to run on HIL, whereas I want to keep the controller on the DSP.
Yes, sir, that you can do. You can take controller codes out, and let me just give me a second. From here you can get C code export. See, on the software you are getting on my screen. Are you getting my screen or not? C code you can export.
Yes, sir.
Yes, from here you can export C code. Okay, so those C code for controller part, right now it is generated for system CPU. That is in this model, means these RMS blocks are used. That's why these codes are generated automatically for system CPU. Okay, so if you are using any model which is having controllers also, so for that one you can generate your C code as like, see, just you want to open this one. Okay, and you can get those codes also. Codes are going to be generated automatically, but just you need to do one thing, that if you want to export externally, then you need to select that one. Okay, so that you can do. If you select just this is the signal processing part, and let's create a subsystem for this one first, and then get back to here. Just a second. Let me remove this check and let me click this. So if you want to generate code for this one, so export C code. You got the idea, sir?
Yes. Now.
Okay. Thank you. So, ma'am, I think any more queries?
One minute. Anita Chaudhary, you have a question? Anita Chaudhary, you have raised your hands. You have a question?
Yes, you can perform UG level simulations. In fact, you can perform practicals also. A lot of basic examples are there. If you have seen the example folder, so you can definitely you are having idea like these general power electronics. And in fact, we have created we have designed multiple labs with you just need to visit our website co-ops.com, and there you will find lab manuals remain available. You can download and you can start working onto that one, and if required models, we can give models also related to that one.
The website is www.coabs.com. It is in the chat. You can look into it, note it down. You can download the lab manuals from there.
Any more queries, please?
So I thank Mr. Shashank for your extensive lecture. You have dealt with only the basics, but I think all the participants could understand that it's a very useful tool for your research, even for your teaching purposes also in the UG level and PG level. Okay, and I thank Mr. Poddar also. He was also helping him. I could feel that. I could realize that. It's good, your teamwork. So I thank both of you for giving us a good session now. Shashank, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And I request all the participants, if you are interested, you just explore the software. It is open source available and with original license. Okay. And wherever it is required, we are. One thing I can promise: we are #1 support team. Okay. So you can you can get a lot of detailed inputs from us, and wherever it's required, you can use. Okay. And time to time we are organizing events from our end also. So if you just remain connected with us on LinkedIn, and you can get details about the upcoming workshops and FDPs in collaboration with NITTR as well as other institutions also. So with these words, thank you all and have a good day, great day, safe day.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.